Will you do what I am going to ask of you, or will you refuse me because you are angry at my being on the Danaan side while you are on the Trojan? Zeus's daughter Aphrodite answered Hera, August queen of goddesses, daughter of mighty Cronus, say what you want, and I will do it for you at once if I can, and if you can, do none at all. Then Hera told her a lying tale and said, I want you to endow me with some of those fascinating charms, the spells of which bring all things mortal and immortal to your feet. I am going to the world's end to visit Oceanus, from whom all gods proceed, and mother Thetis. They received me in their house, took care of me, and brought me up, having taken me over from Rhea, when Zeus imprisoned great Cronus in the depths that are under earth and sea. I must go and see them, that I may make peace between them. They have been quarreling, and are so angry that they had not slept with one another this long while. If I can bring them round and restore them to one another's embraces, they will be grateful to me and love me forever afterwards. Theron, laughter, loving Aphrodite, said, I cannot and must not refuse you, for you sleep in the arms of Zeus, who is our king. As she spoke, she loosed from her bosom the curious embodied girdle, into which all her charms have been wrought, love, desire, and that sweet flattery which steals the judgments even of the most prudent. She gave the girdle to Hera, and said, Take this girdle wherein all my charms reside, and lay it in your bosom. If you will wear it, I promise you that your errand, be what it may, will not be bootless. Then she heard this Hera smiled, and still smiling, she laid the girdle in her bosom. Aphrodite now went back into the house of Zeus, while Hera darted down the summits of Olympus. She passed over Phaera and fair Amaphia, and went on until she came to the snowy ranges of the Phrygian horsemen, over whose topmost crest she sped without ever setting foot to ground. When she came to Athos, she went on over the waves of the sea, till she reached Lemnos, the city of noble Thos. There she met Sleep, own brother to Death, and caught him by the hand, saying, Sleep, you who, Lord, is alike over mortals and immortals, if you ever did me a service in times past, do one for me now, and I shall be grateful to you ever after. Close Zeus's keen eyes for me in slumber, while I hold him clasped in my embrace, and I will give you a beautiful golden seat that can never fall to pieces. My club-footed son Hephaestus shall make it for you, and he shall give it a footstool for you to rest your fair feet upon when you are at table. Then Sleep answered, Hera, great queen of goddesses, daughter of mighty Cronus, I would lull any other of the gods to sleep without compunctuation, not even excepting the waters of Oceanus, from whom all of them proceed. I dare not go near Zeus, nor send him to sleep unless he bids me. I have had one lesson already through doing what you asked on me. On the day when Zeus, mighty son of Hercules, set sail from Ilium, after having sacked the city of the Trojans, at your bidding I sufficed my sweet self over the mind of the aegis-bearing Zeus, and laid him to rest. Meanwhile you hatched a plot against Hercules, and set the blast of angry winds beating upon the sea, till you took him to the goodly city of Cause, away from all his friends. Zeus was furious when he awoke and began hurling the gods about all over the house. He was looking more particularly for myself, and would have flung me down through the space into the sea, when I should never have been heard of any more. Had not Night, who cows both men and gods, protected me, I fled to her, and Zeus left off looking for me in spite of his being so angry, for he did not dare do anything to displease Night, and now you are again asking me to do something on which I cannot venture. And Hera said, Sleep, why do you take such notions as those into your head? Do you think Zeus will be anxious to help the Trojans, as he was about his own son? Come, I will marry you to one of the youngest of the Graces, and she shall be your own, Pasiphae, whom you have always wanted to marry. Sleep was pleased when he heard this, and answered, Then swear it to me by the dread waters of the river Styx. Lay one hand on the boundless earth, and other on the sheen of the sea, so that all gods who dwell down below the Cronus may be our witness, and see that you really do give me one of the youngest of the Graces, Pasiphae, whom I have always wanted to marry. Hera did as she had said. She swore, and invoked all the gods of the nether world, who are called Titans, to witness. When she had completed her oath, the two enshrouded themselves in a thick mist and sped lightly forward, leaving Lemnos and Imrus behind them. Presently they reached many a fountain, Ida, mother of the wild beast, Lipton, where they left the sea to go on by land, and the tops of the trees in the forest sowed under the going of their feet. Here Sleep halted, and ere Zeus caught sight of the going of their feet, him he climbed a lofty pine tree, the tallest that reared its head towards heaven on all Ida. He hid himself behind the branches and sat there, in semblance of the sweet singing bird that haunts the mountains and is called Chalcis by the gods, but men call it Semidus. Hera then went to Gargarus, the topmost peak of Ida, and Zeus, driver of the clouds, set eyes upon her. As soon as he did so, he became inflamed with the same passionate desire for her that he had felt when they had first enjoyed each other's embraces, and slept with one another without their dear parents knowing anything about it. He went up to her and said, What do you want that you have come hither from Olympus, and that too with neither chariot nor horses to convey you? Then Hera told him a lying tale, and said, I'm going to the world's end to visit Oceanus, from whom all gods proceed, and mother Thetis. They received me into the house, took care of me, and brought me up. I must go and see them, that I may make peace between them. They have been quarreling, and are so angry that they have not slept with one another this long time. The horses that will take me overland, and see are stationed on the lowermost spurs of many towns in Ida. I have come here from Olympus on purpose to consult you. I was afraid you might be angry with me later on if I went to the house of Oceanus without letting you know. And Zeus said, Hera, you can choose some other time for paying your visit to Oceanus. For the present, let us devote ourselves to love and to the enjoyment of one another. Never yet have I been so overpowered by passion, neither for goddess nor mortal woman, as I am at this moment for yourself. Not even when I was in love with the wife of Hesiod, who bore me Pirithous, peer of gods in council, nor yet with Danae, and daintily ankled daughter of Acrisius, who bore me the famed hero Perseus. Then there was the daughter of Phoenix, who bore me Minos and Rhadamanthus. There was Selene, and Alcmena, and Thebes, by whom I begot my lion-hearted son Hercules, while Semele became mother to Bacchus, the comforter of mankind. There was Queen Demeter again, and lovely Leto, and yourself. But with none of these was I ever so much enamored as I now am with you. Hera again answered him with a lying tale. Most dread son of Cronos, she exclaimed, what are you talking about? Will you have us enjoy one another here on the top of Mount Ida, where everything can be seen? What if one of the ever-living gods should see us sleeping together and tell of others? It would be such a scandal that when I had risen for your embraces, I could never show myself inside your house again. But if you are so minded, there is room which your son Aphasius has made me, and he has given it good strong doors, if you would so have it. But let us go thither and lie down. And Zeus answered, Hera, you need not be afraid that either god nor man will see you, for I will enshroud both of us in such a dense golden cloud that the very sun for all his bright piercing beams shall not see through it. But this the son of Cronos caught his wife in his embrace, whereon the earth sprouted them a cushion of young grass, with dew bespangled lotus, crocus, and hyacinthine, so soft and thick that it raised them well above the ground. Here they laid themselves down, and overhead they were covered by a fair cloud of gold, from which there fell glittering dewdrops. Thus then did the sire of all things repose peacefully on the crest of Ida, overcome at once by sleep and love, and he held his spouse in his arms. Meanwhile, Sleep made off to the ships of the Phaeacians to tell the earth-encircling Poseidon, lord of the earthquake, when he had found him, and said, Now, Poseidon, you can help the Danaans with a will and give them victory, though it be only for a short time. When Zeus is still sleeping, I have sent him into the sweet slumber, and Hera has beguiled him to go into bed with her.